Hi, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share a little bit about my journey with CNC. My journey has been going on with CNC for I'd say about 3 years. About 3 years ago, I built a CNC, this one right here, which I've done a video on, but and that's really not my focus here. My focus now is on, since I built that CNC, the trials and tribulations, if you will, of learning how to do CNC, which for me is a huge learning curve. You have to learn the programs, you have to learn how to zero it out, make sure, learn why it misses steps, why it doesn't. Just a lot of things to learn. For me, I chose to use Fusion 360, which was I think probably the best choice. You could use an easier choice. The other one called Easel is probably easier, but in the long run, I think in the long run, Fusion 360 is a really good choice. So I'm sharing this to hopefully if you've just began like building guitars with CNC or just using it in general, this will help. But for me, it was a learning curve. There's a lot of things to learn. One thing was just making sure that you knew how to flip the part. That was a big one for me, on how to set up and how to make sure that your part, you can flip it, make sure it's right on. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. It would really help and it would support this channel. To get this right here took me a while. I had quite a few different mistakes. Like this is you know, that for whatever reason it was going 2 millimeters too deep, and you just got to work all that stuff out. It just takes a minute. For me, it did. You got to find out why it's doing it. Sometimes it's in the program. When I say in the program, what I mean is in Fusion 360, sometimes you've got a setting you've got to look at, like an Easel, I'm sure. Just if you make sure all your settings are correct and you go through it one line at a time and don't skip anything, unless it's a setting that's just like a default setting or something, you can do that, but go through it one at a time. You know, the settings like when you do your tool paths, you have to learn how to do tool paths in Fusion 360. If you've done any kind of CNC, you know what that is. And as far as guitar goes, for guitar, I found that really you only need a few of them, like a 1/4 inch, an 1/8 inch, and you can do a lot of the rounding edges with a 1/4 inch bit. And actually, I want to give a shout out to Austin Shaner, who has a YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below, and I just want to give him a shout out. He's helped me a whole lot on that. But he has videos on how to do, you know, how to do necks, how to do tool paths for necks. A tool path, if you don't know what a tool path is, you have to set the parameters for each tool and pick the tool, click on, in Fusion 360 anyway you do, and many of the other CAM software, they call it, you have to pick what you're milling out, you know, the parameters of the stock that you're using, all of that. You know, if you go on YouTube and learn from YouTube, you can learn anything on there, and there's a lot of videos. I might even put a couple of links down below to the ones that really helped me out. So yeah, so learning the tool paths is a big one. Learning to know a 1/4 inch bit can go a long way on building a guitar. You could I'd say 75% of it is going to be a 1/4 inch bit, a 1/4 inch end mill, flat end mill. All of this was done with a 1/4 inch, and then we used a 1/4 inch ball end mill for this to do the finish. Some of the parameters you put in Fusion 360, if you put it to go 90 degrees, like on a fretboard, you can actually use a 1/4 inch bit for that, because you can do really small, what they call step overs. If you don't know what that is, then you probably haven't gone too far yet, but it's just a big learning curve. So for me, the title of the video was My Journey in CNC. It's been a pretty big journey. Trying to find a couple of mistakes that I made that are actually kind of funny, but you know, you're just going to make mistakes. It's just the way it is. And it can get kind of discouraging at times, but don't let it get you discouraged. Just keep going, you know, because it is really worth it. If you can learn CNC and learn how to actually design, I'm learning a little about how to design guitars in there and all that stuff, because if you could do that, you can make just about anything on these things and cut it out on a CNC. And it's, I mean, I don't have a problem doing it with a router, a hand router. It's not really that hard to do with a hand router, but this just makes it a whole lot easier. And frankly, you could do other things while you're doing it. You could be sanding, which you've already done. You could be doing inlays, whatever. So it's definitely, a CNC is a great additive to a shop. It just is. So yeah, so that's about all I wanted to say about that. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you watching, and see you next time.